Hey y'all, let's look at number 8 on the practice exam. Consider the following map from the Guttmacher Institute on the cost of unplanned pregnancies. They provide this map, and if we look at this map, we see that darker states are the ones that are spending more on unintended pregnancies, and on the lighter states, they are spending less. Okay? So the question here is, what does this map tell you about the public costs across the country? Do you have any criticisms or suggestions for how it might be more informative? Okay, and to illustrate what's going on here, I want to show you all a comic from one of my favorite comic strips, XKCD. I've modified it a little bit. This used to say something a little bit less appropriate than money spent on Pokemon cards. You can Google the original comic if you want to see what used to be here. But these show 3 basically identical maps, which are supposed to illustrate where our site's users are. This is some businessman who's making some presentation, subscribers to Martha Stewart Living, and money spent on Pokemon cards, right? He's saying the business implications are clear. It looks like these are the same maps, right? So we should be able to make some kind of profit on here by using the fact that most of the SAR site's users are over here in the red, right? Most Martha Stewart Living users are here in the red, and most Pokemon card money is spent here in the red. Right? The reason these maps all look the same is because this is really just a population map, right? Our site's users are going to be over here, kind of New York and California, right? And then some in the Midwest, because that's where the people live in the US, right? We don't have as many people out here in Wyoming and the like, right? So same idea for the Pokemon cards, right? If we have a lot of people up here in the Northeast, well, that means that more money is going to be spent on Pokemon cards and food and dry cleaning, right, up here than anywhere else, right, in the lighter shade areas, right? Same thing for subscribers to Martha Stewart Living, right? So this is really just, all 3 of these are really just maps of the U.S. population, right, where people live. Same thing here, right? We looked at, see, California, New York, Florida are much darker than most of the other states. And that's just because they have lots of people. Each of these states represents basically the total cost of all of the unintended pregnancies in that state. Well, if there's more people in that state, of course there's going to be more costs of unintended pregnancies. Each unintended pregnancy is going to have some associated costs, and California is going to have a lot more of those totaled together because there's a lot more of them, okay? So this is really not a very good map, okay? If we wanted to make it more informative, we would probably want to have some kind of measure of what the average cost of one unintended pregnancy is in each state, right? What's the average cost of an unintended pregnancy in California versus the cost of an unintended pregnancy in Wyoming, right? In that way, California wouldn't be at a, quote, disadvantage here because we wouldn't be looking at all Californians, their costs all put together for unintended pregnancies. But what's the average cost, right? You can see how this map here, though, could be maybe abused by, for political purposes, right? If you're trying to show that maybe the party in control of California and New York, right, is maybe don't know what they're doing with in terms of unintended pregnancies, right, and the costs associated with them, right? You might pull out this map and say, oh, look how expensive these areas are for that, right? So be aware that certain US maps are just going to be basically heat maps, just maps of where the US population lives, right? That's basically just looking at raw counts, and it's not really what we want to be looking at here. We want, what is the average cost for an unintended pregnancy in each of these states, okay? That's it for this video. See you in the next one.